Hi, guys, and welcome to the seventh episode of the Women in Nautica podcast. Today, I have with me Patricia Becker from Metstrade, and we're about to tell you a lot of interesting things, not only about the show itself, but also the new edition of Women in Nautica. So, yeah, Patricia, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. So nice to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're starting this Friday morning together and hopefully wrapping up the workday after this and taking some time to enjoy.
Yeah, I hope the sun will get back, but let's cross our fingers that it will come back today.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, to start the episode, could you tell us a bit more about yourself? So, where you studied, what your studies were, and how they led you to the position you currently have at Medstrade?
Yeah. Well, my name is Patricia, as you already heard. I will say I'm 49 years young, actually 28. I'm passionate about dancing, foods, and enjoying time with my family and friends. And I'm a proud mother of my 16-year-old daughter, Amelie, and an 18-year-old son, Chris. I started working at Medstrade already 3 years ago. Before that, I have been in the event industry for over 20 years and studied marketing and languages. And actually, from the beginning already, I became one of the members working on events. And Niels Klaarbeek, the director of Medstrade, approached me 3 years ago, asked me to fill in a temporary position. And after a couple of months already, he asked me to stay. And I thought, well, it's a good timing to do so after almost 10, 15 years of freelancing. I said, why not let me come back to the RAI and work there as a exhibition manager for Medstrade. So that's what happens.
Yeah, and I think the last 3 years have been filled with a lot of experience and travel.
Yes, a lot. It has been a roller coaster. It has been a large learning curve for me as well, but it has been exciting all over, and I'm really happy to be here in this industry. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a great industry to work in. Otherwise, you wouldn't be on this podcast. But you said you worked in the event segment of different industries. So can you share a bit more? So which industries were those and how it actually impacted the work you're doing now? So are there any similarities?
Yeah, definitely. In the event industry, you need to have a special sets of skills. And actually, when I started at Medstrade, it wasn't my first encounter with RAI Amsterdam. I worked with RAI Amsterdam already 10 years before that, but on the food and hospitality shows. Then I left to become a freelancer, and I did that for over 10 years. And it helped me shape my skills as well. I think that if you are an event manager, you really need to have strong management skills, for example, to plan and execute different events from small to big. And I did like food events, I did dance festivals for 20,000 people, but also very small niche events with gala awards, with exclusive chefs for Michelin star chefs with 20 people dining. So it's all various size, but also various ways of working with different stakeholders. So communication skills are very important and being able to build a relation with the different stakeholders as well. And as you might know that in this dynamic industry, it's very important to be able to solve problems. So adapt quickly, and it's important to navigate through unexpected challenges. So that's one of the skills as well. That's very important. And of course, if you look at the commercial aspect, being able to manage the budgets and the revenue generation is also key to make sure that the event is at the end is valuable enough to be having the event. So you need those skills as well. So all with all, after 20 plus years, a lot of skills I have learned. And I think that during my freelance experience, it's helped me as well to look outside of a company because the RAI is very big. You used to work with a lot of same suppliers, but being able to see different kind of niche events from small to big, it has helped as well to create my creativity skills a little bit more. So I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I can imagine. What would you say is the best, not benefit, but maybe perk of organizing either a smaller or a larger event? So what comes as a highlight with small events and what is like a great benefit of large events?
Good question. Small events, it's always like, in my experience, I was able to run the entire event from A to C. So I was responsible from the concept to budget to finding the people to help me create the event, making sure managing all the people working during the event. So you have the complete package. In a larger event, you're just like one spill within the big thing. I think that's the main difference. And I enjoy, of course, at Metro, it's very, very big, but still we are managing a part of the show. We still have a lot of suppliers we work with, which are managed by other departments. So that's a different way of working. In smaller events, I used to hang up all the signage myself. Now I call someone to hang up all the signage. I can't just move it myself. So that's completely different. So that's the big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, as it is in small companies, it's very interdisciplinary and you do a lot of things by yourself
Do that
while,
yourself. Yeah.
and if you're a big corporate, then you're focused on a small stripe of things.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
indeed. And since you worked a lot of freelance, but maybe in the beginning of your work through apprenticeships or different programs, did you have a mentor or somebody who was guiding you?
I think I've had the honor to have different kind of mentors throughout my life, and they all had their own impacts on my growth. So some were more focused on my soft skills, some were more focused on the business side of life. And still, I'm still very fortunate to have those people in my life, and I even call them my friends. And what is nice to have, it's that we can still discuss for hours without feeling judged, without feeling kept small, or even, every opinion counts. It doesn't matter what you say, it's okay what you say, and everyone is great just the way they are. And I really value those moments to have in my life. I'm going to a friend this afternoon, and I consider her as well as my mentor because we share a lot of ideas, also work related, from which we grow in the end.
Yeah, I understand. And it's nice to hear and to know that you do need to have mentors throughout your life and that at every stage of life you can benefit from growth.
Yeah, even my kids, they have friends or people a little bit older, which they can just relate to and discuss several stages in their life. So that's great.
Yeah, and it also takes a bit the edge off of being a full-time mom, right?
Don't tell. It does.
And are you mentoring someone currently?
We will start mentoring someone again as from I think July. We always have interns within our teams. Last year we had Eamon. He wanted to learn more about management, and it was great to guide him and see him grow throughout the months. Him being amazed about the steps that we were taking, being amazed about the development he was going through within his skills, and at the end, during the show, we saw a young man, confident, smiling, and solving every single challenge he came across. And that's in the end the most valuable thing you can have, that someone is so happy that he was able to do this and learn from you and the team, and we will always continue to do that. So within our team, we have several interns from sales to marketing to operations and to exhibition management. And on several moments, they enroll into our team and we guide them, we help them. And some even stay longer, even some start working at the RISE. So that's really great to see that we can help them build their career.
And that's what it matters in the end, right? I mean, an
Definitely.
event can be successful, ROI can be increased, but if you see that you helped as a human, another human, I think this is really what makes you feel fulfilled at the end of the day and you sleep better, right?
Yeah, without expecting anything in return. So that's it. Yeah, definitely.
Nice. And now to the big question, which can be, I think, answered in many different ways. Can you tell us more about Metstrade?
Oh, I think that everyone knows by now, hopefully, what Metstrade is. And throughout my career, I've been able to connect with incredible individuals and had the privilege to share my perspective. And I think in that spirit of connection and shared growth, Metstrade stands out. It's not just a trade show for the leisure marine business. It's where the global leisure marine business comes together. And it's not only from established leader, but also towards the newest innovators, and they're all sharing their insights and forging the future of the business. So it's a platform where connections are made, knowledge is exchanged, and every contribution from big to small is part of the bigger picture. And Medstrade normally runs from the 18th to the 20th of November, so in 2025. But over the last 3 years, it has become the Amsterdam International Marine Industry Week, with not only the Super Yacht Forum that starts on Monday the 17th, but also the Yacht Racing Forum that starts on the last day of Monday. And this year we will be adding something new, but we'll talk about that later. So Medstrade is already well connected, and it's the spot to be. It's not just about the exhibitors showing their latest products and innovations, but also about networking and sharing knowledge.
And also realizing opportunities, because I think you added a great value with segments such as the racing forum, then the foiling segment. So can you share a bit how you're analyzing and then choosing what fits the strategy or what could be a potential seed for growth?
Well, if we look at the boat show season, all the global trade shows, but also the boat shows, we see Medstrade as the closing of the boat show season. So all the builders have had insights in their order intake over the boat show season, and Medstrade is the spot to scout the latest innovations and to start buying their products. And we are always open for new partnership if that helps us move forward in this. So, for example, we are working on a plan to get Dame Design Awards, which is one of our awards we already have for like 32 years, 33 years. We would like to see that more embedded into the boat shows in the season as well, so that the end user has the chance to spot the latest innovations and which are recognized by the industry. We have more focus on refit this year because we see as well that the refit market is getting more important. For example, as well, the Boat Builder Awards, it has been 10 years in the Maritime Museum. We work together with that one with IBI. We will be moving that one back to Medstrade because it will maximize the spending time of the attendees at the show, and the awards are back at the roots of the show. So there are a lot of developments going even in 2025 already, and of course, even more in 2026 that we will focus on for the coming years ahead. So a lot of changes over the last 3 years, but it helps us as well to grow, and we try to anticipate as much as possible in the needs of the audience and the exhibitors.
And that's one thing that keeps you at the top, right? Just to anticipate and know how to cater the needs of everyone. Yeah, because it's not only the exhibitors are super important, but the attendees as well, and then the potential ones for the following years too.
Definitely. So that's why it's important for us as well to visit boat shows, to talk with those shipbuilders and all the other attendees, visitors of the show, to learn what they feel it's important to have during the show. And we try to adopt as much as possible and implement those ideas into the show.
Yeah, and this brings us to sustainability as a concept. Of course, it's super important, very talked about in different segments of our industry, etc. So, can you tell us how does Medstrade embody sustainability, maybe either through the program or if you have any in-house practices?
For Medstrade over the last 3 years, emerging technologies, diversity and inclusion, and sustainability have been three main topics for the show. And we will continue the coming edition to use these. In Hall 13, for example, we will create the next gen zone. So that one will not only focus on next generation propulsion, but also on LCA and raising more awareness for reuse, repurpose, and recycle within the business, because it's a very hot topic. And it's time that we don't only talk about it, but we start taking steps. So we'll be having more hands-on workshops during the events to help the visitors take those next steps. To stimulate traveling, my colleague Tessa is working on a pilot to have the Eurostar train from London going to Medstrade to Amsterdam. So one couch will completely be Medstrade branded. During the journey, we will facilitate networking with some nice entertainment and food. And it is a chance for visitors and exhibitors to already connect during their travels towards Metstrade in a sustainable way, in a Mets train, as we call it. So that's one of the things we'll be doing as well coming edition. And for us, not only for Medstrade, but also for the RAI, it's important to work as sustainable as possible. So it's one of the reasons why we use shell sheen stand construction, because that can be reused every single year. So exhibitors are not allowed to bring their own stands. We will make sure that the standards stand is built and that will be broken down again and will be used again for another show and for another show. So that's one of the things we are doing as well. At Medstrip, we also have in the RAI, we have the donation room. So every single exhibition, the last day, colleagues will go around with carts towards the stands and get all the leftover food that is still closed or all the other products that don't want to bring home. And we distribute it to various fair organizations, and they will make sure that it gets to the people that need it in Amsterdam. So each department, from RAI catering to our sub-suppliers, are challenged to work as sustainable as possible. So definitely something that's embedded not only in Medstrade, but also in the RAI as well.
And what I see is you're really taking responsibility. So it's not only about, let's say, educating the exhibitors, you need to be sustainable, recycle, separate waste, etc. But you're not allowing them to bring their own exhibition space, but you're the one who's taking responsibility and care of it to be made in a truly sustainable fashion. And I think that's great.
Yeah, it works. So, and then on the other hand as well, it's even make sure that we are working more safe, because not all the stand builders are in the building working in their own way. We manage everything now and make sure that it's not only sustainable, but the way of working is also safe for all the people involved.
And since you have a great insight in the industry and you're also working close with these sustainable concepts, what would you think is one major hurdle for the implementation of sustainable solutions so far?
Well, if we talk about reuse, repurpose, and recycle, both are not really recyclable. So that's, a main issue we have been talking about the last 2 years together with, for example, World Sailing. We had roundtable sessions to see, okay, what are the next steps we can take? And that's something that's really important. And I said before, we talk a lot. There are a lot of different companies working on, okay, what can we do? How can we work? But it's now about taking the next step, really start taking even small steps forward. And that so next year we actually see a result instead of just talking about it. I think that's something really important, that not every company works on its own. There are a lot of associations doing their own things, but put them all together and make one plan together that works and counts.
Yeah, absolutely. For a circular economy, a collaborative approach is a must. We need to unlearn all the competition modes of work, which we got to, I don't know, see in the existing industry or other industries as well, but just to see how we can
Yeah.
collaborate better.
And that's what Medsred is about. We are the platform in which we want all those companies to connect. It's the spots where we bring those companies together and in which they can share their knowledge and from there take the next step.
Yeah, and also when it comes to networking on Mets as a platform, I'm very proud and super happy to announce that this year's Women in Nautica will be present at Metstrade. So, Patricia, shall you share the details of the date and
You go ahead and share the details. It's your event, and we are very happy to host you on that Wednesday. Really looking forward to this new initiative. And yeah, it's something that if we talk about diversity and inclusion, it's something we really care about. And it's part of the industry. There should be more awareness. And I think that over the last 2 years, we have been taking steps, putting more women in the spotlights, on the stages, and so on, and get the conversation going.
Indeed. So for anyone who missed the announcement on LinkedIn or Instagram or our website, just so you know, on the 19th of November, which is the Wednesday at 9:30 a.m., we will start the registration for the Women in Nautica conference at Metstrade. And it's truly going to be an amazing hotspot, not only of diversity and inclusivity things, but also everything related to sustainability, technology, AI, and yes, just another very educational event and content filled day. And I'm super happy we can do this together.
Yes, definitely. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much for having the confidence and reaching out to us to have this new conference within Medstrade.
Yeah, no problem. And if we're turning back to you now, so would you say you're an avid boater yourself?
Well, that's kind of a funny story, to be honest. I'm not. Um, it's going to get a little bit personal now. If we talk about diversity and inclusion, this is something that applies to me as well. I was raised close to the water in the Netherlands, and starting working for Medstrade, everyone assumes that I must have been on the water a lot. But with my South American background, being on the water was not something I was raised with. Water is a source for living. We fish in the water. We get our food out of the water. And even my mother was born in South America, and I think she was not even, I think she was 26, 27, 28 before she learned how to swim. So we didn't get in contact with boating as it's not part of our culture and not part of our community. So assuming that I live close to the water where everyone sails and so on, it was not something I was raised with. It's not part of our system.
Yeah, do you enjoy any other time on the water at the time being, like any water sports, or do you fish?
I fish. I used to fish with my father a lot. I actually did. Yes, we did. And we even like left at 6 in the morning somewhere to go fishing and then took the fish home and made it for dinner. No, I enjoy being on the beach. I enjoy walking on the beach and so on. And if I look now, I'm learning a lot about boats. I'm not spending a lot of time yet on boats, but I'm learning a lot about boats and being part of that communication and community. I must say that the leisure marine business is really a tight community. It feels like family. And I enjoy very much being part of that and being able to ask and learn without feeling less or even everyone is really helpful to help to sharing for knowledge and to help each other forward. So in that way, I'm already enjoying, and of course, I'm getting on boats even more and more and more, and I'm learning on the job, as I call it. So that's good, but I'm not a boater yet.
Yeah, well, there's time to be, but like the fishing part is also a fun one. I also remember when
Yeah,
I was a kid going with my family to fish, and I think I was 5 or 6 years old. I remember catching a small fish, which was like the perfect portion size for my lunch. And then my mom made me pull into by the side. It was just this unique and one of a kind
yeah,
experience
yeah,
where I
yeah.
actually caught the food myself. And I think it never happened again after this occasion.
Yeah, now I don't even look at people fishing and like, oh my God, no, don't call me. But that's okay. I'm learning and I'm not a boater, but enjoying to learn and spending time on a boat in the moments that is possible, but not one of my favorite things yet.
Yeah, that you said it's a tight community, and I think everyone's experiences are overlapping and
Yeah,
overspilling, so that's good.
definitely. True. Yeah.
And for the last question of today's episode, so you started working young in the different segments, and now you ended up in the boating industry. And throughout Medstrade, you see the Young Professionals Initiative, which you have young people who are coming at Medstrade as interns. What would you suggest to these young people if they're struggling to make it in the industry, or in
Mhm.
general, like a business and life tip from you to them?
Well, first of all, become a member of the Young Professionals Club on LinkedIn. So that's step one. We share a lot of knowledge in there. We ask the young professionals as well what they would appreciate to see and to learn during MedStraight. And then during the show, of course, we have the Young Professionals Club. And this year, we will have more focus on the interaction between key industry figures and the young professionals. So people that really can inspire and help young professionals to find their way in business. So definitely come to Medstrade and to the Young Professionals Club. Everyone under the 40 is allowed in. So with your badge, you have free access to the Young Professionals Club. You can have your lunch there, your drinks there, but also learn from key industry figures. And my advice would be keep asking. There are no stupid questions. And try to exchange ideas with different kind of peoples that will help you shape your what you truly desire. That helped me as well. And my life quote is do what you love and do it often. It helps me with everything I have to decide. I keep that in mind and it helps me to make the right decision because if I don't feel inspired enough and if I don't really like, oh my God, I need to do it, then it's not important enough for my core. And then I'm not going to do it. So that's something we do at Medstrade as well. We only do initiatives that makes us smile. Keep it simple because if it doesn't make you smile, if it doesn't make you happy, you will not put the effort in to make it happen. So please keep doing what you love and do it often.
I love it. This is such a positive thought to close the episode with. Thank you, Patricia, for today's insight. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me and looking forward to meeting you again soon and work on the new events during Medstrade.
Definitely. So for everyone, you can follow Metstrade on Instagram, LinkedIn, follow their press releases on their website, and of course, mark your calendars for Metstrade this year in November and the Women in Nautica conference, which is going to take place once again on the 19th of November, starting at 9:30 a.m. Also, keep an eye on our socials, subscribe to our newsletter, and stay tuned for the ticket launch. So, yeah, to wrap up this episode, once again, Patricia, thank you and have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. Enjoy your day. Goodbye.
Bye.